Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I am Molly and I do book content here on YouTube. And today I am doing a tag video. So I was tagged by Sarah from Austin in the Ozarks. I wrote it down. She's changed her name. So she used to be Sarah Collar. She's now, Austin in the Ozarks. There we go. I did get it right. Anyway, I was tagged by her to do the America the Beautiful tag, which was created by Taylor from Tales with Tay, there we go, and Shannon from Old American Spirit. I think it's an original tag created by one or both of them for the 250th birthday of America. So it's kind of funny that I, a Brit, tagged in this video, so that's quite funny. So yes, I thought, I know I'm a bit late for the 4th of July, but it's still July, so I'm counting it. I'm gonna get straight into it. Yeah, I've actually remembered to put my books in order of the questions, so that should help save time, although I am a bit of a chatter, so we'll see how that goes. So let's get started. We've got a few, I don't know how many prompts, but we've got a decent amount. The first one is In God We Trust, and that is a Christian fiction book. And actually most of these are Christian fiction, which is quite interesting. That wasn't intentional, apart from obviously the first one. So, but yes, I decided to go with this book, and that is If the Boot Fits by Canon Wittemeyer. This is Christian historical fiction, and it's a fairy tale retelling. I'm sure now that I've said that, you can probably guess which fairy tale. This is based on Cinderella, and this is book 2 in the Texas Ever After series. They aren't related, if you know what I mean. It's just they are all set in Texas in the 1800s, I want to say. Does it say? Will you tell me? Yes, late 1800s. So 1889 is when this book starts. So yes, not really much else to talk about. It's Christian fiction. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It's not boring or slow like some people might think with like a romance, historical fiction. It does depend on that and obviously on your own viewpoints, but yeah, I picked this. I had a lot that I could have used it for, but I wanted to go for a book I haven't picked, and also for an author I've not picked. So I picked Canon Wittemeyer because I've been really liking her books at the moment. I just read one recently, so yes. The next one is Old Glory, and this is a book that elicits strong emotion. And I get emotional with most of my books, if not all of them, but this book, I had to pick this book. And to be honest, it's also a placeholder for the whole trilogy, because all 3 of the books in this series elicit really strong emotions. But I decided to pick this one because this is the most recent book, the last book that I read. And I decided to go for As Sure as the Dawn by Francine Rivers. Those of you who know this series and know Francine Rivers, her books are definitely heavy and often elicit strong emotions, especially this series for me, especially book 1, but that was like the biggest strong emotion. But I decided to go for this one because technically it said book, not books, plural. Technically I didn't really do that because I said it's a placeholder for the whole trilogy, but there we go. But yeah, this one did elicit strong emotion, and again, Christian fiction, ancient historical, this one. So yes, really good series. Makes you cry if you're like me anyway. So yeah. Superpower, a main character with a unique ability or a big epic book. And I decided to go for a main character with a unique ability, and I can't say much about it because it's kind of spoilery. But I picked Edith from Westward Abbey by Christina Bayer. This is book 1 in the Secrets of Ormdale series. And again, Christian fiction. Again, historical. I like my historical. But this one's like historical cozy fantasy, or at least this first book is. I don't know if the whole series is cozy fantasy, but certainly fantasy. There's a ability that we find out Edith has, and I would say that is quite unique. I've not heard it before. Not that I've read much about this type of fantasy, so that could be why. But it was unique to me, so I decided to pick her. Again, there's probably lots of books that are like that for me, though. Okay, the next one is The American Dream, and that is a book with a great family. And I am going a bit further from America now, but still part of that area. Certainly in terms of everyone. And again, this is kind of a placeholder for the whole series, because it's about family and it's a family saga, I guess. I mean, it's not quite as many years as you would think for saga, but I'm saying saga because there's not much less than 10 books, so that's why I'm counting it for that. And this particular book is the last book in the series, and that is Willa of Ingleside by Ellen Montgomery. This is basically following Willa, which is the youngest daughter and child of Anne Shirley. And so, yeah, Anne Shirley and her family, it's definitely a great family. It was a toss-up between this and the family in Little Women. But I decided to go for Anne because, well, we all know I'm a big Anne fan. So, yeah, I'm using Willa of Ingleside as the placeholder, but the whole series, it follows Anne as she grows up, has her own family, and then her kids. So definitely a great family, I think. And yes, really great series as well. Definitely recommend it. And you could count this as Christian fiction too, but it's more like children's classics. But you do get a little bit of faith in it, to be fair. Hi, it's a good cup of coffee. Right. Okay. The next one is One Republic, and that is a book with political intrigue. And there was a few I could have used. In fact, there's another book in this pile that I could have used this for as well. But I decided to go with this one because I think this fits it the most. And again, this is kind of a placeholder for the whole series as well, because it's based on the same thing. But I picked The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Those of you who know it, it's probably a YA dystopian kind of, I don't know if it's futuristic necessarily, because there's no particular years that this is set. Certainly with the main trilogy, obviously with the prequels, that's a different story, but even then you don't really know the years. But I'm going with the whole Hunger Games series, including the prequels, because there is a lot of political intrigue because of that, because the Hunger Games, if you know anything about it, it's set up because of the government, and there's a lot of uprising stuff and fighting against the government, and I'm counting all that as political intrigue. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I haven't really read much that has political intrigue, so I don't really know what else I could have used, other than my other thought was, outside of a book that I have in this pile, was Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose by Christie A. Cole. But even then, the political intrigue in that is very minor compared to everything else. Now, it is just the first book. That could change as the series goes on. I don't know how many books she's doing, and there's no book 2 as of yet, but it's being written. So, yeah, I decided to do the Hunger Games. So I hope you guys think it counts. Let me know if you don't. Threw my book on the floor. Pledge of Allegiance. A book or series you're fiercely loyal to. I forgot about that. So I'm going to have to repeat something because, to be honest, I'm not someone who's fiercely loyal to things in books that way. Kind of am, but kind of not. I wouldn't say I'm fiercely loyal, but I do have things that I really, really love and that are favourites. So I'm going to count it as that because it's basically pretty similar, if not the same thing. And I'm going to have to go back to Anne Shirley because, of course, I'm sure none of you is surprised by that. If anything, if I'm fiercely loyal to anything, it was the Anne of Green Gables series. Yeah. And obviously this Willa of Ingleside is the placeholder for the whole series. the next one is Oh Say Can You See. I am not going to sing that. You do not want me to. And that is a book that surprised you and gave you chills at the ending. And that happens to me all the time because I read a lot of books that have that sort of genre style where you would get those sorts of things, you know, like I like my fantasy, I like my mysteries, stuff like that. So I have quite a few books that I could have used, but I decided to go for this one because honestly this was it. And that was The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. This is a classic murder mystery. This is in the Hercule Poirot series. I don't think you need to read them in order, especially at least with like the main middle ones. But yeah, I mean it's always better if you do, but like I wasn't affected by it basically. I don't know where this comes in the series. Oh, I think it's quite far up in quite early on in the series, I think. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what I'm trying to say here. Yeah, this book definitely surprised me, definitely gave me chills at the ending. Absolutely fantastic ending. I did not guess the plot twist. It was incredible. I still think about this book, and it's been a couple of years now-ish, a year or so, since I read this book. I do think about it regularly because it was just amazing. And it wasn't one of those surprise endings that you don't expect where it's just out of the blue and makes no sense. It's one of those endings that are like that you don't see the signs and you should have figured it out, and it's like, oh, yeah, so good. Definitely recommend that book. The next one is Melting Pot, and this is a book that is a blend of two genres. And now, technically, this is Christian fiction, so I'm not counting the Christian bit as a genre. But this book is a historical mystery. So I'm counting that as two genres, and that is The Juliet Code by Pepper Basham. Like I said, it's Christian fiction, but it's a historical mystery. This is book 3 in the Freddie and Grace Mysteries series. I love this book. Just read it recently, so you'll be hearing me talk about it in my July wrap-up. Fantastic book, fantastic series. I love this series. If you like your murder mysteries, you should read that. It has a little bit of faith in it, but it's not heavy going. It's not like Francine Rivers, if you know anything about her books. So it's definitely one where if you want a little bit, but you don't want all the heaviness of a Francine Rivers, I definitely think that's a good one to go for. Well, the series and Pepper Basham as a whole. I've not read any of her other books. I know she is quite popular, and there's definitely other books of hers that I'm interested in. So, yeah, I just haven't got to any of them yet. Okay, the next one is Secret Six, and that is a book with espionage. I seem to have messed up my books. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't necessarily take that as a recommendation. But yes, that's the one I'm going for. Oh, wait. You know what? I'm losing my marbles here. I did have I'm losing it, guys. Okay, well, I'm going to have to edit all that out. At least it was short. So, book with espionage. I do have a book for that, and I picked up Noble by Misha Andrews, and this is book 2 in the King David's Bride series, and this is Christian biblical books, as you can tell by the title. It's about King David, kind of before / as he becomes king of Israel, Judah, Jerusalem, whichever one it is. I forget when they split up. I think it's after King David when they split up, when Judah and Israel split. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm using this for espionage because there's definitely that sort of stuff in this book. This is about Marka, who is a princess, the princess of Geshur, and eventually one of King David's brides. And there's definitely espionage in this because there's not necessarily secrets, but there's some not very nice people who want to try and stop things from happening in a very espionage sort of spy sort of, you know, way. I don't want to say too much, so because it's kind of spoilery, so I'm gonna go for this one. This is book 2, so I would definitely recommend reading in order if you're interested. The first one was Brave, and that is the story of a Hinneran. So yeah, this one for espionage. So that is the end of all the questions. The last one is about tagging others, and that is Westward Expansion. So let's think. So first of all, I don't know who's done this and who hasn't. So I apologise in advance. Also, this is open to everyone, so if I don't tag you but you do want to do this tag, please do. I'd love to see your answers. Otherwise, if you want to answer one or more of the questions, but you don't do YouTube videos or you don't want to, then please do answer in the comments below. I'll be writing the questions down in the description box, so you'll be able to reference that when you're answering if you would like to do that instead. The people I'm going to pick, who do I want to pick? I'm going to pick Teresa for Creatively Faithful. I'm going to tag Sarah then. You've already done it, Sarah. You tag me. Anyway, losing my marbles here, evidently. Trying to think who else. I'll tag Lucy from the Lucy Chronicles. I know she was taking a break in July, so she might not want to do this, or she might do it a little bit later, or wait till next year. Either way, I'm sure it's fine. But I'll tag you anyway, Lucy. Let's see, anyone else? I kind of want to tag Lauren and Ben from Young and the Restless, and then I'll leave it at that. If you want, I can't think of anyone else. So if any of you want to do this tag and I've not tagged you, please do. I would love to see it. And otherwise, just answer in the comments. I don't have. Is there any I want? I'll leave the questions down below, so I won't say a specific one that I'd love to know your answer to. Just if you want to answer any of the questions, just do that in the comments. Otherwise, maybe leave an emoji. Let me think. Well, it's America the Beautiful, isn't it? So maybe I should say the American flag. Or if you want to be a bit spicy, you could do the British UK flag. But yeah, certainly the American flag is definitely very, very appropriate, isn't it? Let's be honest. So yeah, I'm going to go for that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tagging me, Sarah. And thank you to Taylor and Shannon for the creation of this tag. And yes, I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm gonna go. I say that phrase a lot. It's mainly because I think I'm gonna say something else, and I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't have anything else to say. So there we go. I hope you're having a lovely day / week. We are apparently supposed to be getting 30-degree weather Celsius this week. I'm filming on Tuesday. It's supposed to be like tomorrow, Wednesday onwards. I don't know when it's going to stop. It might have already stopped by the time I've uploaded this video. I don't know. But either way, your prayers would be great, because I complain a lot when it gets to that hot. And obviously, as a Christian, I shouldn't be complaining. But I just really do not like it when it gets that hot. I'm not quite sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's something like the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, it depends on when in the 30s the temperature gets for us. But yeah, quite hot. At least for us British people. We don't get this heat. It's not normal for us. Although it's becoming normal, so there we go. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Jesus loves you, and so do I. God bless, and I will see you all next week. Bye.